Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to get into geocoding, which is another bunch of GIS fun. You can see I've already got the data downloaded here, so we're just going to right click on it, hit extract all, we'll save it there, and we'll wait for it to extract. Okay, so um, it's extracted. Essentially what geocoding is it geocoding is taking a piece of a database and using locational information within that database to locate it on a map. So let's take a look at this data that we have here first. We'll write or go into this. Okay, so we see that we have a shapefile data set here, and then we have an Excel file here. If we expand this out, we can see that it's a comma separated values or CSV file. And so our instruction has us taking a look at this CSV file. So I've double clicked on it. It's opening up, and then we see that we have, this kind of looks like an attribute table, right? And this is basically what an attribute table is. It's just tables of records and data. And so we see that our first field here has store name, the second one is county, and then longitude and latitude. And these are the locational coordinates that we're going to tell ArcMap to create points for, right? And that's geocoding. And so we've looked at this, and we see that we have 4 different fields here. So we're going to go ahead and close this. Just need to see that we have a longitude field and a latitude field, a way to for ArcMap to tell where these records need to be located. It's going to be according to this longitude and latitude here. So you can go ahead and close this. I don't want to save it. We'll minimize that. And so we've got ArcMap open. I've got a new blank template open. If you don't have that, go ahead and open one. And here's how we geocode. First, we're going to go to File, Add Data. Don't use the Add Data over here. We're going to use File, Add Data, and we'll go to Add XY Data. And so it's asking you what XY data you want to add. Choose a table from the map. We don't have any tables open. Or browse for another table. Well, our table is our CSV file, right? So we're going to click on that folder, and we're going to locate our CSV file. It should be under Lab 9. Yep, right here. Denton.csv. We'll hit add, and so it's asking us for our X and Y coordinates. ArcMap does a pretty good job of finding those on its own, based on the name of the field. But if your file doesn't do that in the future, your X field is going to be your latitude, or your longitude, and your Y field is going to be your latitude. And if you understand longitude and latitude, you know which ones go up and down, which ones run east-west. If you relate that to a graph that you learned about in algebra, you've got X and Y. It's the exact same concept. The instruction says that you're going to have to add sheet 1. Don't worry about that. That's applicable to XLS files, real Excel files that were formed and saved in Excel. So we've got our latitude and longitude defined, and the last bit that we want to do is we want to give it a coordinate system. And so since we're working with latitudes and longitudes here, those are need to be assigned with a geographic coordinate system. That's latitude and longitude works under a geographic coordinate system. And if you remember, some of your instruction from projections, you should be able to understand that, know and understand that. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign this a coordinate system. We'll hit edit. We'll said, was geographic coordinate system, and we are going to assign it WGS 1984. You should be able to find that under, I believe it's World. Yep, WGS 1984, right there. We'll hit OK. And then we'll hit OK again. You might get a warning here. If you do, just ignore it. You hit OK. Well, that's not what I wanted to happen. Sometimes ArcMap is really weird, and that window that popped up applies to this right here. I don't know why it does that. It's kind of a glitch in ArcMap. If that happens, your help window pops up, just close it, hit OK. See, it did it to me again. There we go. I clicked on the right side of it. I don't know why that happens, and ArcMap has never, or I'm sorry, Esri has never fixed that. But yeah, just ArcMap is not the most user-friendly program in the world, and there's little glitches that have never been fixed. But that's kind of part of being a working in GIS. Is you kind of have to figure these things out sometimes. Anyway, we'll get this little weird warning here. Don't worry about it. Just hit OK. And now that we see, it has assigned us points according to the longitude and latitude from that field. And we can even go into here and we can right click on it. We'll go to Open Attribute Table. And now we'll see exactly what we saw in Excel, along with an added field here for to define the type of shape it is. They're all point files. So pretty easy stuff. What you need to do from here, we'll go ahead and close this attribute table. This is a temporary file, and you can see that it's a temporary file. You mouse over, it says events there on the end. Well, it's according to ArcMap, this was an event that happened, but it's not permanent. So you have to save it off as a new layer. So we're going to save this. We'll right click on it, we'll hit data, export data, and we're going to create us a results folder. And this should be lab 9. So we'll go find lab 9, results, double click that, and then we're going to call it, we'll just call it Snap Retailers. _ retailers. You can call it Snap Store Locations if you want. Doesn't really matter. You just need to make sure that it's something that called something that's intuitive, that other people, if they have to open your file, they'll know what it is. We're going to go ahead and save. It is saving to my results folder. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. It's going to ask you if you want to open it in a layer. We hit yes, and we can actually remove this right here. It's a temporary file. We don't want to. We want to work with our real data. And this is our real data here. So that's geocoding. This is the hard work is done. The deliverable for this week is to make a county, or I'm sorry, to make a map showing all existing Snap retailers in Denton County. So let's go ahead and work on that a little bit. Go ahead and add data, and we see that we have our Texas counties right here, right? Yeah, don't worry about any of that. Okay, so we see that we have data for Denton County. There's a little bit outside of it, but in the instruction it says your final map may include some points outside of Denton County. It says you can leave them on the map, so that's fine. If we want to show retailers in Denton County, and we want to make a map of this, a neat, clean map. First, I guess you would need to isolate Denton County. And so we're going to use some of the previous instruction to go ahead and do that. So we're going to change this layer to Texas County. We'll county equals, let's see what the good unique values are. We'll go to Denton. We'll hit apply. Yep, that selected that. We'll hit OK. Right click, data, export data, and we'll export this as, we'll do it like this. Denton underscore county shape. If I can type. There we go. Yes, we'll take Texas County off of there, and now we have only Denton County, and then we have snap retailers. If you wanted to, you could, it's not necessary, but you could isolate only those that we see within Denton County here using select by location. I don't like these out here, so that's what I'm going to do. My target layer, I said that we want to target, snap retailers, so I'm going to target the snap retailers using my source layer as Denton County. We're going to locate just those retailers in Denton County. So we'll go to completely within the source layer feature. This is our source layer feature right here. We'll hit apply and see what happens. Hey, look, it selected just those within Denton County. So we'll hit OK, and we'll export those to a new shapefile. We'll call this, I don't know, Denton underscore snap locations. And then we'll hit OK. We'll hit yes on this one, and so now we have only those snap locations within Denton. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, because if that's what I want to show on my map, that's, I don't need that other stuff. Okay, so now we have the deliverable says make a map showing all existing snap retailers in Denton County. That's what I have here in my data view. So we'll switch over to layout view. We know that Denton County is a little wider than it is tall, so we'll change that to landscape. Okay. We'll adjust our square. So you don't want to start zooming in and out, immediately. We want to adjust our square to how we think it might look on our sheet of paper in the background. Expand this out. This is probably going to be wrong, but we'll right-click Denton County, because that's going to be the largest part that shows on here. Right-click Denton County. We'll go to Zoom to Layer. Yeah, it fills the page, but it's way too big, right? You still need to add a legend, title, north arrow, scale bar, and authorship block, right? Those are your map essentials. Those are your map elements. So you need to figure out for yourself how you might want to change that around. Make sure, if you can see that part of Denton County is cut off here and here on the bottom, so make sure that you go back in, zoom to layer. We can actually trim that down over here on the right. We've got that border here. I'm going to get rid of that border. You don't have to do this, but I think it's going to look better this way. I did the wrong thing here. Here we go. Go to properties, frame. I'm going to turn that border off. Okay, yes. And now I have no border here. The only border is going to be my, the outside of my page here. And then you can go in and insert a title. This is usually how I insert titles. This is a title. We'll locate that up here. We can change the size of it. And we'll bring it up to like 24. I'm just kind of playing around here. We'll actually call this what do we call it? Denton County Snap Retail Locations. Not the best title in the world, but it works. And so from here you'll just create a new north arrow. Your legend should reflect um, your points and your county. I would probably change the snap locations to something a little more visible. It doesn't really show up that well in that green background. Red points here, you could even change this to something more like that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, not the best thing, but not awful. I'm going to add a border, an outline color around that. Make it black. Make it black. There we go. Outline width is 1. Yeah, so I mean that's how you can do this. You can move this around however you need to move it around. Add your north arrows, legend, scale bar, all that good stuff. Easy stuff. This should be coming along pretty easily now. As long as you remember which elements need to be added and add them tastefully into the map. As far as your scale bar, the only thing I can say about that is make sure that when you're adding a scale bar, we'll hit insert scale bar. This is set. I can see that this is set to decimal degrees here, so we're going to go to properties. We're going to change that from decimal degrees. Miles is probably the best one to use here because we know that Denton is miles across. So we're going to hit OK. 8 miles, for that scale. I don't like that how the 0 is in the middle, so I'm going to change that type. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to delete it. It's easier for me to do it this way. We'll go to insert scale bar. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. We'll hit OK. I don't like it where it has like 16 miles right here. 16 miles is hard to visualize. So you can drag this out to like 20. Yeah, that was easy. I think that's a little big though. So I'd probably bring this down to something more like 15. Let me see if I can find 15 on here. There you go, 15. 7.5 is kind of weird. This is super weird too, so we can change that in your numbers of subdivisions and divisions. Let's bring that down to 3 and see what happens. Bring that down to 1. Yeah. See, that's not too bad. I mean, it's 10 miles. But anyway, yeah, you can play around with those and see what works out best for you. I'm going to delete that so you don't get. No, I want to delete this. There we go. Just kind of play around with the scale bar. No one's going to count off for. I will probably advise you to use better numbers or a better type of scale bar. But as long as one is included and it's in a decent measurement type, like miles, kilometers, something like that, not decimal degrees or let's see some of the other measurements they have available. So they have decimal degrees. Yeah, don't use centimeters. Don't use points. Yards is probably not good. That's too small. Millimeters, no, that's not going to work. I think they have like chains, sometimes on some of these decimeters. That's not going to work. Stick to known measurement units. So anyway, just some advice for that. But anyway, create your deal, export it out, and you should be done with that deliverable. So. In any case, as always, let us know if you have any questions, and we will try to get to you as soon as possible.